As if they don't have too much on their plates. The Kings of Combat Sports Podcast, John and Wade. They'll talk about the things they did that day. They'll analyze the work of Vince and Triple H. Review a SmackDown. 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 Review a SmackDown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Review a SmackDown. I am John Pollock, along with Wai Ting.
Yeah.
Wai, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice timing on the Jays hat to bring it out. The season's over.
Yeah. I feel like I could wear it now without ridicule. Because it's a brand new season next year.
I guess so. I just ridiculed you, though, but nonetheless, goes against your theory.
I guess it's not...
You're optimistic about 2018?
No, I have no real opinion either way.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got to have something when you wear a hat like that.
I don't give it.
You can't just have blind endorsement.
It keeps my face protected from the sun. That's how I look at it.
Well,
That's what fashion is to me, okay? It's function.
Function?
Yeah. Function over fashion is what they say.
You spent more on that than you could have just a plain hat.
I got this shit for free. I get all my clothes for free.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
How did you score that hat?
It was a gift.
A gift? Oh, okay.
I bought one hat. That black hat I wore recently, I got that for $5 at the X.
Oh.
Yeah.
So a big investment on your behalf.
The most I've ever spent on a hat.
Well, we're going to get into SmackDown. It was the second straight night in Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
My throat is shot right now, so this is about the level of volume.
What happened?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What happened to you?
I got sick. That's what happened.
Oh, man. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. My whole household right now is sick.
Oh, shit.
And I've caught this throat, whatever it is.
Well...
So this is as loud as I'm going to get, and I'm doing this with the knowledge that
I'll probably get sick after an hour of this?
That I have 4 hours of talking ahead of me.
Oh.
That's my
All right,
day.
let's wrap this up. Let's make this quick.
I could make this SmackDown real quick.
Okay.
Renee Young brought out Shinsuke Nakamura for an interview to start off our show. And maybe he had a bad throat as well because he said very little in this promo. Renee asked if Jinder Mahal's comments crossed the line. And Shinsuke Nakamura responded, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what'd you think?
What a promo to set up our title match for Sunday.
With Shinsuke, I think the shorter the better.
This tested that theory.
Okay, what would you have preferred? That he not talk at all, or that he say something?
I would say nothing would have trumped this.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult for them because they're so used to scripting guys to come out and to convey their personality via talking, and with somebody like Shinsuke Nakamura, we've seen them try that. And it's not been very good. I would say out of everything they've done, this might have been the best option. Simply to have him come out here, say a line, but do it in his fun, kind of weird delivery, and have it be short. He took out the mouth guard at least, and the
small steps.
The thing's interrupted, so it's still not ideal. I think they're still trying to find what works with this guy, but I think it's the best they could probably do at the moment.
His other line maybe summarized his entire run in the WWE in terms of their presentation of Nakamura. He said, "The greatest fear is fear of the unknown."
Yeah. Well, at least he got the lines out this week, which is more than last week.
That's true. The Sings came out to their own music.
Yeah.
They have different music now from Jinder, and mockingly called this interview thrilling, and then brought out Jinder. But instead of coming out from the back, he jumped Nakamura from behind, coming through the audience, and Nakamura fought him off, landed a head kick, took out the Sings, landed an enziguri to Mahal. But then as he goes for the Kinshasa, the Sings grab him by the legs, and Mahal sneak attacks him, stomps him down, and hits Nakamura with the Colossus.
I thought it was a good sneak attack. I thought it was good to keep the talking short, to get you right into the physicality, which is, I think, Nakamura's strength. Probably... I mean, I don't want to say Jinder's strength, but it's better that I think there's less talking for at least this go-home week. And I thought it worked. I thought the crowd responded well for Nakamura. It definitely, however, doesn't feel like the top program at all. It's, if anything, it's the IC title. It's the secondary belt on the show. And it's a tough program. You know, you have a babyface who doesn't really speak, and you have a heel who's not really all that intimidating. I mean, completely overshadowed on this show is Jinder Mahal by Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah, I think he's been dwarfed at this point. This program, it feels exactly what you stated, and I wonder if your idea is you want to keep Jinder as champion going several months ahead
To India, at least.
Would you entertain the idea of, given that there's no program that seems ready for Jinder anyway, would you just do a title change and he gets it back from Shinsuke?
Well,
Not ideal, but
I wouldn't entertain it. However,
Nakamura losing on Sunday, I think, like, where does that guy go after this?
yeah, it's kind of true. I mean, and Jinder, you can argue, has kind of
What babyface is ready to feud with Jinder at this point?
And you can argue that it's just kind of run its course, and that maybe a title change here and there will prolong it. I personally never liked those. Like, if Nakamura wins the title,
I don't like this title run. I just don't think it's had anything to it.
For me, like, if a major babyface that you think, you know, you could see some future in, like a Shinsuke Nakamura wins the title, I think it should be a real moment, and he should get a real run out of it. And it doesn't sound like, you know, if Jinder is continuing to be the guy, that he'll get that substantial run. I would hope that... I don't know. The most I could hope for is at least a better match than they had. I don't know. I'm not even that confident in that. So
Your WWE title program, folks, coming up this Sunday. Carmella and Natalya had an argument earlier in the day, with Natalya calling James Ellsworth a dog and implied Carmella was a female one. And then they teamed up to take on Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Becky hit a drop kick that I say hit just because that's what you would naturally say. It had no connection.
You didn't see the commercial feed, right?
No.
The picture-in-picture.
No.
Because Charlotte did one that looked just as bad.
Oh, boy.
Like, to Carmella. So, like, it was, you know.
Well, it was Carmella taking both of these.
Yeah.
And Carmella bumped off this thing, and it just looked hideous. The heels got sent to the floor. They went through the break. Then Natalya was in control of Becky when they came back. Charlotte comes in, did that awful strut, and then speared Natalya, goes to the figure four. It stopped. Carmella attacks Becky with the briefcase on the floor, and then Natalya just nails Charlotte from behind, applies the sharpshooter, and the champion submits to challenger. Just like that.
But logic will tell you that this would mean Charlotte would win on Sunday, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure. I thought some of the challengers for Sunday were booked very curiously, with Charlotte, with Baron. I mean, it was just a very strange setup for our title matches on Sunday.
I think maybe for their thinking with this one it's that Charlotte is such a favorite, and I think in everybody's eyes, Natalya is such an underdog already. They mentioned that this is actually Natalya's first ever title defense on pay-per-view, which is kind of crazy considering how long she's been in the company. So I feel like they needed to get Natalya up to a certain level to be on par with Charlotte. Maybe that was the thinking here.
Well, that was our tag finish. Not a stellar match from the women.
Charlotte, I felt like, was maybe emphasizing her dad's spots a little bit more. So again, kind of really playing on that for her storyline.
He's doing an appearance next month at a convention, I think November 18th.
Wow.
Which is right before Starrcade, and it is also before they're doing either a Raw or SmackDown right in Charlotte as well.
So you think he'll be there?
No, he could. I mean, if he's out and about doing stuff.
Is it SmackDown as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is, if it's Raw or SmackDown.
Okay.
Then they aired a video for Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. This was like a big, extensive video. Went all the way back to the draft with Owens being brought over from Raw and his initial complaint about not being drafted by Shane and Bryan when the brand split occurred.
Yeah, when that happened, I doubt that they ever had any of this in mind, this storyline. But I love that they were able to dig through that footage and find little pieces that organically seem to build up to this moment.
This was a great video.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 minutes. It was pretty significant.
Really good.
Went went through all the AJ program with Owens, Shane taking over as the referee from Baron, then the attack on Vince, Shane's response, and that was mixed in with highlights of various stunts from Shane's career, and then through the Sami Zayn attack last week, and ending with Kevin Owens' line about people like him who go to heaven.
Yeah, I think it's been a really well-built feud, carried by Kevin Owens, but
I think Shane's done his part in this.
I think Shane and Vince have both done great jobs here. Really good video, told the story really well, emphasized that headbutt fantastically, and made Owens look amazing. Made Shane look like somebody out to kill. And Phil Nurse was in this.
Yeah, I mean, once you've got Phil Nurse involved,
that's an extra cost for the video editor.
Yeah, I mean, he's a WrestleMania program guy.
Yeah,
getting Shane set.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Kanellis was back. They mentioned that him and Maria are expecting their first child next April. And then he took on Bobby Roode, where Kanellis got the early advantage, was hit with a spine buster and the glorious DDT, and Roode pinned him in 56 seconds.
Oh my God, not even a minute. Didn't even give this guy a minute.
No.
I thought they'd give more to Bennett, even in a squash like this, but it kind of shows you where they see him at the moment. And I don't know. I think Mike Bennett probably just needs a new gimmick. Now that Maria's not in the picture for a while.
In a weird way, him and Matt Hardy are in the same positions
because their partners are gone.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
I think Mike Bennett loses a lot not having Maria.
Yeah. Both jumped from TNA and then just seem to be in worse positions.
Yeah.
Maybe you should. Yeah, I think Bennett, you should pair with somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know where they see Kanellis, if it's someone obviously not someone they are actively pushing at the moment.
No.
Then we go into our post-match with Dolph Ziggler coming out. He says he's a big fan of Bobby Roode, and he's working on his entrance for Hell in a Cell.
He called him kid.
Kid, yes.
Yeah.
A 40-year-old kid.
Yeah, Dolph is probably younger than
He's definitely younger than Bobby Roode. And he starts playing these sirens on the speaker. Then he goes to the back. He was gone long enough that the crowd started chanting for CM Punk. And he returned playing this giant drum. He then shot out these sparkles like he was Johnny B. Bad. And then he had this air horn that I swear to God, if people turned their TVs off during this segment, wouldn't have surprised me. This was just irritating. He kept doing his yelling promo style, which I can't impersonate today. He says that Roode finally managed to backdoor his way into the WWE, and this Sunday he will show them an entrance like they've never seen before. And tells Roode eventually the bell has to ring, and he'll expose Roode as being nothing more than an entrance, and all he'll ever be. Roode responds and says Ziggler's entrance was horrible, and he does his glorious pose as his music plays to end this segment.
Yeah. I feel like they had when they were probably thinking about the angle to lead to this match, they thought of a good line, and that line was what Dolph said at the end of this whole thing. You're nothing more than an entrance, and I'm going to prove that on Sunday, sure. But it hardly justified all the bullshit we had to sit through for a month now just to get to that line. You know what I mean? I think they needed more. This whole thing was just bad go-away heat, not the entertaining kind. And, I mean, I don't think the match, I'm sure it'll be fine, but I don't think it'll make up for what we've had to sit through.
We've established that this whole match on Sunday is about entrances. Mm-hmm. Now that it's all built around Dolph now coming up with an entrance. That I thought that was his whole point, was that
the entrance won't.
He was against.
Yeah, I expect the entrance to not be any
Maybe he'll come out to no music.
Yeah. Maybe he'll just be naked. Maybe no lights even.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we just don't. We could just skip this, not have to see it.
Maybe he'll just crawl, or maybe he'll. What's the most anti-entrance entrance you could have? You know, maybe he'll just be there the whole time, so he wouldn't even have to enter.
We'll come back from a video package and he's already in the ring.
Yeah. Or no, he'll be in the ring at 5 p.m. that day, so he wouldn't have to enter at all.
Yeah, some great ideas possible for Sunday. The Usos came out. The segment was designed, they said, for the Usos to read the New Day their rights. And they explain it won't be 3-on-2 Sunday, and compares the Hell in a Cell to the Uso Penitentiary. and they just do their Uso promo where they mention it's not about selling merch. This is a lifestyle for them. They're going to be 5-time tag team champions. They go into their catchphrase and are stopped by the New Day, who instead of reading their rights, they want to talk about their lefts and how they have left those in their path, and they left everyone in awe of what they do. Whether they were on the kickoff show or the main show, they always left with people knowing they had the best match on the show, and they left with the titles. You get it?
I get it.
And they will be left in a pile of their own day one-ish. And it led to the audience chanting New Day rocks as the two traded words, and the Usos left the ring, and the announcers played up the cell match for Sunday.
Well, that was pretty clever. But really quick of the New Day to just think of that
off the top of their heads.
Thing,
yeah,
eh?
This is a live program.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they're reading us our rights. You know what the opposite of that is? Our lefts.
So I'll say this and you say this and you say, yeah. Well, you know what? I do think this was good. I think it's a rare tag team semi-main event, that feels actually hot and warranted. And I think
this is the number 2 match on the show for me.
For sure. I mean, it's the other cage match, so yeah, of course. But I love the Usos call and response promo style. I think they found a style that feels very original, feels authentic, and is very entertaining. Maybe they just kind of need to figure something out to really kind of let it connect. I feel maybe like it's really compelling, but I just don't necessarily feel like it's hitting, as much as it probably could. So maybe just some adjustment there. And I thought the New Day cut a pretty serious promo for the New Day. So I wonder if the feud ends. It probably should because it's the third match. It's a Hell in a Cell. But if it does, who do you think wins, first of all? And for me, I wish that we could have gotten at least a part 2 of the rap battle. Maybe for this week, it would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the Usos are definitely the team that is probably more of your priority in this tag division.
Yeah.
Whereas the New Day,
they've already made.
They're definitely made, and they also. I wonder after this feud if you will eventually start to move Big E into more of a singles role, something like that this feud could at least allow them to start to branch off a bit. Because these two teams, they could continue it's a division that's really built around these two teams.
Mm-hmm. Who's next?
It's a great question. You have Gable and Benjamin.
Hype Bros.
And then the Breeze and Fandango, which are almost like an act that aren't even wrestlers anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's not as though you have a great follow-up to this feud. This has certainly been a tremendous tag program, but I agree with you. It should be the end on Sunday. But, I don't know where you go after, but I could see the Usos winning this and then continuing as your heel tag champions.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Jinder is backstage, and he first speaks in Punjabi and then recaps the segment from earlier where he attacked Nakamura, said that what happened tonight is the same as what will happen at Hell in a Cell. He said that Nakamura, his face will be crinkled into a pile of regret. I don't know what that means.
Because I guess Nakamura makes those crinkly faces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not our number 2 match on the show Sunday. Kickoff show will feature Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin against the Hype Bros, and the Fashion Files, which were supposed to be on this show, have been moved to the pay-per-view.
Gotta pay to see that.
I guess so. Ty Dillinger took on...
By the way, do you think they'll solve the mystery of who kidnapped... Oh, wait, did they solve that?
They didn't really.
It was Arn who kidnapped the horse, Tully, and then, wasn't there a second mystery of somebody who attacked... Breeze or something?
The one who abducted Fandango, right?
Yeah, right. Did they solve that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's really clinging to the cliffhangers from Fashion Files.
Yeah.
Maybe there will be a mystery team that shows up. And that's the answer to our tag question. Dillinger and Corbin. AJ was watching backstage. Corbin slid to the floor and then did his return right into a super kick from Dillinger. They went through a break. Corbin landed this back elbow and then shoved Dillinger off the apron into the steps. Corbin's in control in the ring when all of a sudden Dillinger catches him with an inside cradle and Ty Dillinger pins Baron Corbin going into Sunday's match.
I thought for sure that this would lead to Dillinger being inserted into the match for a triple threat.
No.
But nothing.
No. Instead, we just have Corbin going in off a loss.
Yeah, very peculiar.
Which is the classic... You figure coming out of this, oh, well, that means Baron's winning the title. It's like, you wonder why titles don't mean anything and baby faces get hurt. It's stuff like this.
Yeah, I know.
Where this does not put heat on anybody. To me, it just diminishes Corbin, and if he wins the title, it just brings it down to his level rather than raises Baron up a notch.
Yeah, I know.
And AJ's floundering in this feud. Like, he really is just...
That man should be champion. Absolutely.
Like, this is just not doing nothing. Like, AJ is just such a misused character at the moment.
He's the guy that they're keeping after 205 Live. To make sure people don't leave.
That's it.
Yeah.
Styles appears on the screen. He says he loves to watch Baron squander all of his opportunities. He says if he pushed himself harder, he wouldn't have lost to John Cena at SummerSlam, wouldn't have lost his Money in the Bank briefcase, or lost to Dillinger tonight. He says all Corbin does is throw temper tantrums. He's going to teach Corbin that taking shortcuts don't work against AJ, and his opportunities will get cut short.
Well, I mean, you could, if AJ does lose the belt, hopefully it moves him back up into the title picture.
Think about that, though.
I know, of course, it's silly, but that's what happens. You lose your way up.
Yes, I lost. I got rid of this fucking title. This weight off my shoulders. Take it, Baron.
Yeah, but I mean, I would prefer it. I would prefer him facing either Jinder or Nakamura for a top program.
Did you see Curb Your Enthusiasm on
No, I haven't.
Sunday? No. Then I would have made a reference, but it was very good.
Oh, okay. Yes. You can. There are people who did watch it.
Well,
will it spoil anything?
Think of the United States title is Larry David's assistant.
Okay.
And AJ needs to foist it. You'll get it once you watch the episode.
I know. I'll keep that in mind.
Then we had the Susan G. Komen segment.
Oh, boy.
And I say the segment because it was word for word the same speech from Monday.
Oh, really? Word
Dude,
for word?
It was the exact same speech from Dano. Instead of the Raw women, it was the SmackDown women that were replaced. And I believe it was 3 different cancer survivors that they had in the ring, though.
Yes.
And it was verbatim. It was like the exact same segment as Monday.
That whole thing has gotten a lot of bad press, even just after Monday, pointing out the exact same things you mentioned on Review-A-Raw.
I'm glad many others noted the same hypocrisy.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I think that it's like if you're this foundation, I don't know how you're attaching yourselves without doing just a Google search on this guy.
Well, I would say the same for both companies. If you're the WWE, why you would attach yourselves to Susan G. Komen?
No, that one I do understand. WWE, I don't think has any problem with any criticism that comes their way, and there's lots that you could throw at the Susan G. Komen Foundation as well, and lots of questions people have about that. That one is not as shocking to me as this foundation and being linked here. I mean, it tells you about this relationship between WWE.
Do you think there are talent that would be uncomfortable wearing that shirt?
Yes, I do. I'm sure there are definitely talent that would not be comfortable wearing that.
But imagine, like, if you're one of the women out in this segment, you're being told to go up there and wear the shirt. How do you say no, Hey, for some of them, it's not a battle they're gonna fight, but I'm sure for some, it would definitely be very difficult to just divorce your knowledge of this individual. I think that there's a lot of people that are probably very aware of this Ultimate Warrior and whether they would choose to endorse him or not. In this way, especially, which is just very heavy-handed. Yeah.
Rusev and Aiden English, who look to be paired now together, are in the ring, and they recapped Rusev Day. Rusev says that Randy Orton ruined Rusev Day and gave the greatest delivery of this line, and says there will be many more happy Rusev Days to come, such as this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, and that Orton's family will be embarrassed to even look at him in the eyes after Sunday. So Orton came out for a match with Aiden English. Rusev distracted Orton, and English attacked him from behind, played off the finish the last time where English leaped off the second turnbuckle, but this time avoided the RKO. He attacked Orton, and then off of an Irish whip, Orton popped him up into the air, and he came down into an RKO, and Orton pinned him in a minute 20.
Yeah, really cool.
You can tell these two really enjoy working together, and Orton definitely sees a lot in
Rusev and Aiden English, yeah.
Oh, I was saying about Orton.
Orton and Aiden.
Yeah.
English. Yeah, he spoke about him on the Edge and Christian show.
Yeah, which is a very good interview. If you want to hear about Orton just being Randy Orton, like, what a guy this individual is. But yeah, totally is a fan of Aiden English and gave him a bit here. I mean, it was a very short match, but good finish too with the RKO setup. I thought
it looked awesome. It was almost like a one-man 3D.
Yeah. Sami Zayn met with Shane backstage and says he's hurt, but he'll be okay. He says how Shane has only seen a small amount of what Kevin Owens can do, and he warns Shane that Zayn was the best man in his wedding, and look what he did to me. Shane tells Zayn to go take care of himself, and he'll do the same. Pretty much just blew off Zayn.
Pretty much, yeah. I think this was probably just done to have Zayn put Owens over as this new serious psychopathic character who's prone to snapping.
Then Shane comes out for your favorite way, a face-to-face.
It's my favorite?
Yeah.
I like the face to the back of the head, actually.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
We also got the face-to-face-to-face recently. Remember that? We had a segment that was actually called that, involving three people. I can't remember who.
I'd love for them to call a future Royal Rumble face-to-face-to-face-to-face-to-face-to.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Just that's your closing segment before the Rumble. Calls out Kevin Owens. Owens does not come out. Shane calls him a coward. He says he disrespected his children, brutally beat down his father, and hid behind Sami Zayn like a human shield so he could escape from Shane. Well, he can't escape on Sunday. He's going to be locked in Hell in a Cell, and he's going to change Kevin Owens' life when that door closes. He's also changing the rules. It is now Falls Count Anywhere. There will be no barriers for them, and he's going to beat Owens beyond recognition. Now, I'm sure there are many people that are looking at this as just what's the point of a cage match when you're saying you can escape the cage? I will say, I get that. I get people will complain about this addendum to the Hell in a Cell structure, but this is such a better match as a result of this stipulation. That they can leave the cage. They are learning from Shane and The Undertaker. That these guys are leaving, and we'll get into it more. Like, you have pretty much promised people blood, and you have promised a fall off the cell.
Completely.
Like, they have set expectations super high, which I don't know if that's the wisest idea, but they must have a hell of a plan for Sunday.
Oh, God, I hope. I hope that it's safe.
It won't be safe. You hope it's the danger is mitigated.
Oh, man. Yeah, but they're essentially guaranteeing you that you'll see some type of crazy stunt, and if you don't see it, they're really risking disappointment.
And they're also really building it up that it's going to be Owens that takes the fall, which I hope for the longevity of this, because I feel this should get to Hunter. If there's a McMahon that needs to win, let it be Hunter. But I feel very adamant that Owens should win this.
Yeah, I didn't really get the sense that they were teasing that Owens will take the fall, but I could see like an educated viewer thinking that way because he's hinting at it so hard.
Yeah, just the way Owens was pushing so hard that he's going to be the one to dump Shane. Like, that's a...
Right, yes. Yeah, it makes sense.
And you're expecting Shane as the one kind of taking the stunt, that it could be instead you swerve people and it's Owens that falls off the cage.
I just think it's such a terrible precedent that you're continuing, with these matches. I feel like once every 10 years is okay, maybe, but man, it's just, you're essentially just making the Hell in a Cell this high structure that somebody can jump off of, right?
So Owens then...
Which is, I guess, what it's always been.
Yeah, somewhat. Owens' voice comes over the speakers, and he's in the crowd. He starts mocking Shane's theme song, calls it terrible, and teases coming to the ring, but says he's already been in Denver long enough. Shane calls him a coward again, and Owens leaves through the crowd into the lobby. So Shane says he's going to bring the fight to Owens and chases after him. They go into the lobby, and then maybe in a tribute to Lance Russell, they had a concession stand brawl. Not in Tupelo, though. And Owens jumps him from behind, stomps him. Shane fights back. They go through the merch stand to the concession area, and then Owens powerbombs him through a table where it looked like Shane was dead weight going up for this powerbomb.
Yeah.
This poor Owens. I think he threw out his back trying to get him up for this. Owens returns to the arena, gets into the ring, and agrees to make it Falls Count Anywhere. He wants to beat Shane everywhere, including out of the cell. He's going to take Shane's face and grind it on the fence until the flesh comes off. And he will make him forget his kids' names, drag him on top of the cell, and Shane's not going to have to worry about jumping off because he will throw Shane off the top, and there is no getting back up this time.
Wow. This new kind of psychotic edge to the Owens character, I think, is just great. It makes him a legitimately scary heel. Strips out completely any sense of comedy. All the face of the U.S. Jericho stuff is gone. Like, this is somebody who's just prone to headbutting senior citizens. You know what I mean? Like, it makes him just that much scarier, and it makes him that much more capable of, I think, a main event heel spot in the company. I think the Shane story, has been some of Owens' best work.
I agree. I think this has been one of the best feuds of the year. Like, I'm really looking forward to this match on Sunday, and genuinely invested in like who wins this, because I could see Shane winning this. I think the loser should also disappear for a long time, especially if you're doing a big stunt. And I think that's better suited for Shane to go away for a long time. And it's Owens that just runs SmackDown until you're ready for Hunter to show up, which I think is where this has to go.
So you think if Owens wins, he starts to run SmackDown?
I mean, in the sense of that he's just running roughshod over SmackDown, and it's Bryan that is his somewhat foil until... I think that you could have Bryan as this buffer, and then Owens with the knowledge Bryan can't fight him, and then it eventually leads to Hunter coming to SmackDown, which I know is not everyone's optimal destination, but I think it's realistic of where it could go. And Owens will eventually lose to one of the McMahons. I mean, I just feel that's where this ultimately does have to end. He has to have his comeuppance.
I'm not really sure what the following follow-up is to this storyline, but I think it would have just been an awesome cherry on top of this whole thing if they had some stakes attached to the match. You know, those stakes perhaps being loser
leaves SmackDown.
Loser leaves SmackDown, winner gets control of SmackDown. And how great would it have been if we actually got the Kevin Owens show, at least for like a month, you know? Even 2 weeks. I would have really loved that. You know, I think would have made this match that much more attractive. But it's, you know, I think it's a very interesting main event.
Shane staggers back into the ring, and we posted the video up on our Facebook page where Shane is selling better than he usually does, as this woman just starts twerking in front of him.
I know.
This was just so ridiculous.
That was new. Usually you get like, I don't know, just like kids and people looking ridiculous, but twerking.
Shane's new. Shane he was all business though. He didn't acknowledge it, just kept staggering. Owens then goes after him and attacks Shane. Shane fights back, lands a flying clothesline off the barricade to Owens. They trade blows in the ring, and Shane gets dropped with a kick. The referees are in, and it ends with Owens hitting the pop-up powerbomb, and Shane is left laying. So we discussed the idea of doing physicality. I thought that they have teased so much for Sunday that I don't think you could possibly have been disappointed that they did physicality here. I thought it fit.
But all the physicality was mainly Owens beating Shane. And Shane showing heart, continuing to fight back. So you're not necessarily giving Shane's actual comeback away. You know what I mean?
Right. So that was how the show ended. I think that this feud is carrying the show for me. I just think it's been a really, really great feud.
I agree. I think it's been carrying the show, like you said, and Owens as the lead heel of any show, I think, automatically takes it up a notch. So
what do you think? How would you put this together on Sunday?
A lot of brawling. You mean the match itself? Or
I guess who goes over and kind of.
Oh man, I would have Kevin Owens.
Like, you have something really hot with Owens at the moment.
I think Kevin Owens takes the bump, but then he would have to lose if he took the bump, right? Has anybody ever fallen off the cage and not lost?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, Rikishi.
Yeah. He lost?
Didn't Mick Foley fall off?
Rikishi won?
Didn't Mick Foley fall off the cage once?
He fell a couple times.
I know.
And he lost
being
them both.
sarcastic about the.
Yeah.
Did
Rikishi lost?
Remember, Rikishi got choke slammed off into a truck.
Yeah, and he just disappeared after that, right?
I don't know if he disappeared.
Who won that match?
Kurt Angle won that match.
Okay.
That was a 6-way.
So, I mean, if Owens takes the bump, he'll have to lose. Unless Shane takes it.
I think Shane should take it, especially if he's leaving after this. Which it is kind of nuts when you think about the fact that he did that whole elbow drop off to Taker, lost the match, and then he's there the next night on Raw.
Yeah,
and he's running Raw.
I know. It's silly.
That was such a bungled up program. That was awful. That was everything I hated about Shane McMahon. And this is everything. Like, there's no one I've done more of a 180 on in 2017 than Shane McMahon.
Kevin should threaten to reveal the contents of the lockbox.
Oh, he's got it.
If he wins. Yes.
That would have been great if when he knocked out Vince, Vince had it in his pocket the whole time where he left it from that night after Mania. He's been wearing the same jacket, and Owens steals the lockbox.
Is the lockbox something you could fit inside a jacket?
Didn't Vince actually have it and he put it into his jacket that night or something?
I don't remember.
Or he said it's in a safety deposit box.
Yeah.
He could have taken a key out of his wallet or something.
Right. All right. Yes.
A PIN number.
I think maybe we would know what it was. Maybe it has something to do with this cannabis company.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been hilarious if Owens made a subtle line about that? It's like your hopes of winning are going to go up in smoke on Sunday. You made a bad investment in this Hell in a Cell structure.
Nice. Very good.
Poor Shane. He's had a rough go of things business-wise. Kind of following in Vince's footsteps there when he gets out of his lane.
The risk takers.
That's what they are.
Yep.
A $500,000 one. All right. Well, that concluded SmackDown. This show to me came down to the final segment. That's all you needed. This show is Hell in a Cell is being carried. The tag match.
Yes.
The tag match has been done really well. Those are two solid matches for Sunday. I feel.
I think Natalya Charlotte will be good too.
I even feel I'm curious to see. I feel like at its core, if you did none of these stupid angles, Roode and Ziggler could have a very good match. And I hope they do at the end of this. I think it should be a very good show on Sunday. I have pretty good expectations for it. And I think you're going to have something chaotic in the main event that will have people buzzing at the end of it. So, and hopefully a really solid heel coming out of it, not Jinder Mahal, but Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So that's Hell in a Cell coming up on Sunday. And later this week, we will have a preview of said show with Jimmy Corderas. And what else do we have coming up? We have a Review-A on Friday.
Yes, that's right. We are talking about Clash of the Champions 26.
Which I feel Hell in a Cell will be a better show than Clash of the Champions 26.
I would hope so.
This features the debut of Bobby Heenan, and something I never realized was it was the same night they introduced Nick Bockwinkel, who was Heenan's guy in the AWA. That same night, he was introduced as the commissioner of WCW, and they called a match together. So that's on that show, and it's headlined by Ric Flair and Sting against Big Van Vader and Rick Rude. So we're going to be chatting about that. And WCW in 1993, which that same show was Dusty Rhodes' final night as Booker for WCW. So more interesting stuff behind the scenes of WCW than in front of it. But we'll chat about all of that Friday at liveaudiowrestling.com. All of our regular shows are out. Sunday night after Hell in a Cell at midnight, it will be myself and Jason Agnew on The Law. So that is all coming up, and we will speak with you later this week.
SmackDown.